I always ask God, but He give me always more than what I ask.
I'd say Islam. Islam's so scary. I had a nightmare that I had to fight him. I woke up and I was like, oh God, thank God that was real. So knock that out.
Oh shit!
No,
you said it here first.
No, I actually woke up and I was like, oh, I thought I was gonna walk out fight Islam.
You mean just because the way he can just grab onto you and just
he's so well-rounded, just skilled. But I'd say Islam's probably like that next.
What about?
It's out right here, looking to finish this fight.
It's over. It's over. Leo's out.
It is all over.
Beautiful job by Makhachev.
Great UFC debut for the Russian.
Islam Makhachev versus Ian Machado Garry. What could be the best welterweight fight? And here's the real question. Who's gonna win this fight? I created a video on why Ian Garry would beat him, but you people, you fans, you said no chance. The result will be the same like the Jack fight.
So did Islam Makhachev, to be fair. He wasn't bothered who he was. He said, listen, I'm the champion. I'm here to fight the best. He went out there. He beat Moicano, who was on an absolute roll, destroyed Benoit Saint-Denis, and I thought he'd give him a good run. Well, it turns out Islam Makhachev is just that guy.
See, he's got to stay quick, in and out, use his footwork as he's doing.
And that was answered.
And now I believe you're right. Islam's 28-1 record with 13 wins by submission is a biggest problem for Ian Garry, and Islam wins easily. So let's dive into this breakdown, and I'm going to show you exactly why Islam Makhachev's terrifying grappling skills are enough to win over this talented fighter. Let's start with the cold, hard facts that should terrify anyone stepping into the cage with Islam Makhachev. Islam Makhachev comes in with a record of 28-1, with only one loss in his entire career, way back in 2015 to Adriano Martins. He's currently the UFC Welterweight Champion and former UFC Lightweight Champion. This man is on a 16-fight win streak, for the longest winning streak in UFC history. He's ranked #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world right now, and here's the scary part. 13 of his wins come by submission. That's almost half of his wins by making elite fighters tap out.
Future.
Cage Warriors belt would be an achievement that I set myself out from a young age.
Now we talked about.
I promise you. I told you at that interview. I'm coming to Georgia. I told all of you. I will come to Georgia because Georgia has phenomenal wrestling, phenomenal judo, phenomenal sambo. And when you are trying to prepare for someone like Islam Makhachev, I'm gonna need that. So Georgia, I'm holding to you guys. I'm gonna need your help. So every southpaw wrestler, every guy that thinks he's gonna be like Islam Makhachev, we need to find a place. I will see you there, and I will call for your help.
Now let's look at Ian Machado Garry. Ian comes in with a record of 17-1, with his one loss coming to Shavkat Rakhmonov by decision. He's currently ranked #2 in the UFC welterweight division. He's got 7 knockouts, 9 decisions, and 1 submission win. He's got great striking and solid grappling defense. Look, Ian is elite.
Polarizing guys in the UFC's welterweight division, maybe in all of the UFC.
Anybody slips up, you best believe there's a world title coming back home to Dublin, Ireland and Brazil, baby.
Is he getting a title fight next? Is Ian Garry versus Islam Makhachev the fight that is going to happen? Because it just might be. Because hear me out. Ian Garry is the #1 ranked guy on the planet, and he's beaten some tremendous fighters along the way. And of course, he took Shavkat Rakhmonov in a #1 contender matchup, took him 5 rounds, almost got the submission in the 5th round, and then since then, he's come back and the man is still fighting. Last time out, he took out Belal Muhammad, who is the former champion. Before that, he took out Carlos Praches, one of the biggest and hottest names right now in the welterweight division. So I say it again, right now, is Ian Garry going to fight Islam?
There's no question about that. But when you compare these numbers side by side, you're looking at a young lion versus a proven king. Islam has defended titles 9 times across 2 weight divisions. Ian has never even fought for a title yet. That experience gap, that's massive. And it matters when the lights are brightest and the pressure is on.
Time is inevitable. Tomorrow will happen. Not for all of us, but it's going to happen. And that's why I say I am inevitable because the future is inevitable.
Now let's talk about the real nightmare for Ian Garry, and that's Islam's grappling. And folks, this isn't just good grappling we're talking about here. This is generational, Hall of Fame level grappling that has broken elite fighters who were supposed to be the best in the world. Islam Makhachev is a combat sambo world champion from 2016. This isn't just Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. This is one of the most brutal and effective grappling systems in the world, designed for real combat situations. He was trained in the same Dagestani wrestling factory as Khabib Nurmagomedov under the legendary Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. That system has produced some of the most dominant grapplers in MMA history.
You looked at and said that puts him number one.
Yeah, I mean, Islam was willing to fight anybody. He stayed active, and he went out tonight and performed the way a guy should on a short notice fight when you are the best in the world and you're the champion.
Now you know, Dana, now you know. Honestly, I'm very happy because now nobody can say something. I feel like #1 best fighter in the world right now.
Let's look at Islam's UFC lightweight records because these numbers are absolutely insane. He has 59.5% significant strike accuracy, which is the highest in lightweight division history. He has 90.9% takedown defense, which means you can't take him down even if you try. He has 1 hour and 8 minutes of top control time in the UFC, which means when he gets on top of you, he holds you down and absolutely drowns you until you break. And he has 13 submission victories overall in his career using arm triangles, rear naked chokes, Bravo chokes, and Kamaras. The man is a submission machine.
Feels like he can take a lot from that camp. Garry said that he wants to be nomadic in the sense that he wants to learn from everyone.
Oh, beautiful jab.
He recognizes how good his team is, but there is always room to improve.
He's actually going to Brazil May 21st to sort of dive into the jiu-jitsu world as only they do it.
Islam has finished Charles Oliveira, who many consider the best submission artist in UFC history. He finished Dustin Poirier, a former interim champion. He finished Dan Hooker, Renato Moicano, and countless others with submissions. These aren't just any fighters. These are top-level grapplers and champions, and Islam made them tap. His arm triangle choke is like a python wrapping around you. Once he locks it in, you're either going to sleep or you're tapping. We've seen it over and over again, and it never gets old watching him work.
There's going to be no excuses from anyone on the planet. When I beat him, I have beaten the greatest pound-for-pound fighter on the planet right now. Your excuses are all finished. There's none. Don't look for them. Don't pick on them. I'll beat the #1 pound-for-pound on the planet. I'll beat a champion in the world. And then we can start the aggressive.
As well, like, it's not small out.
No, he's a big dude.
Like,
There's no excuses, none whatsoever. When I beat Islam Makhachev and I win the world title, there will be no excuses from anyone, anywhere on the planet. End of, done. They all look for something. They all want that claim, it was this, it was that. No, it couldn't have been you. It couldn't have been. That Ian's just better than you.
One of the biggest names of all of mixed martial arts, and of course one of the hardest hitting fighters that's the sport's ever seen. A two-weight division champion, of course. Is he on the verge of fighting for the heavyweight title? Because that is what he's hinting at. He took to Twitter and he posted with no context, no clues, no opponents, no nothing. He just put 1, 2, 3 and go. And as a man where the most thing that he says is Shama credibility to this, they said that the UFC went to Tom Aspinall and asked him to vacate the belt. That's because he just had a double eye procedure, double eye surgery, whatever you want to call it. He had
Aya's Tom Aspinall fighting career is over, yes. Almost UFC has been forced out of action due to lingering eye injuries caused by repeated eye pokes, effectively sidelining him from the UFC. To keep the division moving, the UFC is now giving Alex Pereira the opportunity to step up and continue the fights. On the other hand, some fans point out that John Jones was once given a 1,000-day break during a major issue in his career, whereas Aspinall has been out for just over 100 days, yet the UFC is already moving on without him. Many feel this is unfair treatment, sparking debates among UFC legends who have voiced their concerns about the apparent injustice and the UFC's handling of Aspinall's situation.
And because I had about 5 or 6 eye surgeries, I do know a little bit about this. So real quick, let's talk about this. Tom's going to need, apparently, eye surgery. It'll probably just be a minor thing, like a realignment of the tendon, but things can go wrong. Joe is absolutely correct, 100% when he says that things can go wrong. My retina was reattached after it was detached against Vitor Belfort, and then it redetached, and then they fixed it again, and then I got glaucoma, because once you start messing around with the eyes, in fact, just like any part of your body, once you start going in and messing around with it, it's never the same again. It's never quite as strong, and things can go wrong. Now, medical science has improved, thank God.
At UFC 321, Aspinall went up against Cyril Gagne in what was supposed to be his first title defense, but the fight ended in a no contest after Gagne poked Tom in both eyes. And let's be very clear, this was not Tom's fault. He was the victim here. Fast forward to today, and Tom has now undergone double eye surgery. He's been dealing with double vision ever since that fight. He's on the road to recovery, but there is no confirmed return date. Zero. None. It's been over 4 months since that fight, and the heavyweight division is completely stalled.
It's very obvious. So when he's looking up and in, the left eye is going up and in extremely well. Yeah. The right eye is kind of stopping. You see how the right eye is just not as high up as the left, and it's not as turning to the left as the left eye is. And that's a restriction. So the eye wants to go and he wants to track it, but the more I do this, the more he's going to start aching in that upper inner aspect. And what he's going to do is, if he's in a fight situation...
And then Tom himself went on social media and posted something that really hit different points. He said, and I quote, "I love mixed martial arts. I'll never stop loving it, but I just hate the business. I think that fighters are completely replaceable, and the business will make you feel like that any chance it gets. Even if you get hit with an illegal move which could affect the rest of your life, they don't really give a damn, and no one else does either. That is a champion who is hurting, not just physically, but emotionally, and you can feel it in every single word." Now, things got even more chaotic when a fake report started making the rounds on social media. The rumor claimed that the UFC actually went to Tom Aspinall and asked him to vacate the heavyweight title while he recovered, and it spread fast. Even ex-UFC fighter Josh Thompson was posting about it like it was real.
The UFC asked Tom Aspinall to vacate the title until he was ready to go. He said he'd be willing to vacate the title as long as they released him. Now, that opens the door so he can go ahead and box. This is a really weird situation. The heavyweight division is just a total shit show right now. And it's been a shit show since the John Jones coming in, not wanting to fight, the interim champion, which was Tom Aspinall at the time, and then fighting Stipe. No disrespect to Stipe, but it was just, John had something in mind, and the UFC didn't squash that. They allowed that fight to happen, and it just led into this thing where the heavyweight division's been on hold since the John Jones debacle, I guess you would call it.
Michael Bisping caught wind of this rumor, and here's what he said. He said he actually understood it. He said if the UFC did ask Tom to step aside, he would get it because they wouldn't want to run another interim title fight after the whole messy situation Tom had with the interim belt in the first place. But, and this is important, Bisping confirmed the rumor is completely false. Tom is still very much the heavyweight champion of the world. He hasn't been asked to vacate anything. The report was pure fiction.
And when they said they went to Tom and asked him to vacate, I kind of understood it because they probably wouldn't want to do an interim title fight because of the whole debacle that Tom went through with the interim title, and then to bring another interim title in, that would seem kind of weird and seem kind of crazy, right? Interim titles all over the place.
While Bisping said he sympathizes with Tom Aspinall, and he does because Bisping himself went through multiple eye surgeries during his own career, he also came out and said something that is going to be controversial. He said the show must go on, his exact words. "I understand what Tom's saying, because you do feel like the whole world has turned on you, and he wasn't the person at fault. He wasn't. But this is the world that we live in. The show must go on."
Does either, right? And I understand what Tom's saying, okay? Because you do feel like the whole world has turned on you, and certainly when he wasn't the person at fault, he wasn't. But this is the world that we live in. It just is. The show must go on.
He said the UFC is a massive worldwide corporation. They have a business to run. They have events to put on. And as brutal as it sounds, if a fighter gets hurt, the machine doesn't stop. Bisping compared it to any regular job. If you get injured at work on a Monday morning, the factory doesn't shut down. The deliveries still go out. Life goes on. Now some people are going to hear that and get angry. And honestly, that's fair. Because Tom Aspinall is a champion who was hurt by an illegal move through absolutely no fault of his own. And now he's being told the train is leaving without him. That is a tough pill to swallow.
Sir, you were fighting a wonderful first round.
Fortunately, in my career, it was saved by, well, it wasn't saved by medical science. They did their best, but ultimately I did go blind. But for Tom, fingers crossed, he'll be okay, right? Now, everyone that's come out of the woodwork, and if you just look at the comments of that tweet from Joe Rogan, that little clip, my God, there's some people out there, they don't know what they're talking about, man. This is the heavyweight champion of the world. He's not a duck. He's not trying to get out of a fight. He wants to come back and kick Cyril Gane's ass. He put that in a tweet recently. The man's pissed off, and I can't wait for the comeback.
So when I'm done, I'm done. I'm not gonna be like, oh, how many do you think you have left? Fact. Less than 10. What? Less than 10 fights? 7. You are? You surprised? Yeah, I thought it was like 4 or 5. I thought you weren't gonna fight past 40. Well, I know that's still less than 10. less than 10. Less than 10. Okay. I thought it was a lot less. I don't know, 6, 7. Now, yeah, who knows? Like, I know it's less than 10. It can't be past 10. So if I fight now, fight one more time towards the end of the year, maybe. That's 2 fights. If I do 2 fights a year, fuck. Next year I can still fight. 2028 is where I'll be like, I don't know yet. I don't know. I can't see past 2027, but I do know 2028. I don't know. I don't think that far ahead at the moment, but I do glance at it, but I don't really try and focus on it. I just know I'm on the tail end. I can see the finish line. I've been seeing the finish line in the distance, but now it's closer. But who knows at what pace will I get?
Israel Adesanya has broken his silence about the end of his legendary career. The last stylebender says, I can see the finish line. Israel Adesanya, ready for the final chapter of his storied combat sports journey. The former 2-time UFC middleweight champion has confirmed his retirement is closer now and likely coming by 2027. In an exclusive interview on his YouTube channel, Adesanya revealed he has less than 10 fights left in the tank.
What do you think you want to do when this is over?
So I have a plan in place because I'm an adrenaline junkie. So I know I'll need something every, like maybe thrice a year where I feel like I'm going to die. So again, if I said, okay, I'm done fighting now, then okay.
Let's start with the bombshell announcement that has the MMA world talking. When asked directly about how many fights he has left, Adesanya didn't hesitate. Quote, less than 10. It can't be past 10.
Less than 10. What? Less than 10 fights? That, you are? You surprised? Yeah, I thought it was like 4 or 5. I thought you weren't gonna fight past 40. Well, I know that's still less than 10. less than 10. Less than 10. Okay. I thought it was good.
To put this in perspective, at 36 years old, with a professional fighting career spanning 25 years when you include Izzy has over 100 professional fights on his resume. That's an incredible amount of mileage on any athlete's body. Here's how the math breaks down. Adesanya is set to fight Joe Pyfer at UFC Seattle on March 28th. If he fights one more time toward the end of 2026, that's 2 fights this year. If he maintains a pace of 2 fights per year, which has been his standard throughout his UFC run, he could still be active in 2027.
Middleweight champion Israel Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer. Adesanya, former 2-time middleweight champ, 16 of his 24 wins by knockout, and Joe Pyfer is on a 3-fight win streak. And since winning the Contender Series, all but 1 of his wins have come by finish.
But here's the key quote. 2028 is where I'll be like, I don't know yet. I can't see past 2027.
2028 is where I'll be like, I don't know yet. I don't know. I can't see past 2027, but I do know 2028.